Hi, and welcome to this video on object-oriented programming. Now, what we're going to be doing in this video is I'm kind of going to go back to some of the basics just so that I can move forward again. So if you've been following the playlist, you may have some sort of idea of the concept right now, but I'm going to continue on kind of building up one example at this point. So what I've got here is we're going to do a basic game of chess, all right? Using object-oriented programming. Now, what I've got here is I've got my piece, my owner, whether it's in play. So what you have to do if you follow previous videos is you set up your class and you need to initialize all the variables. Now, by default, I have got in play as true. So I won't need to necessarily pass a parameter in each time when I utilize this class. And then I've got the piece type and the owner. Now, what I then do is I pass in those parameters and assign them to variables. Now, what I'm going to do here is I want to initialize and I want to utilize this class. So what I need to do is allocate each piece on the board. So piece 1 equals piece. So I'm using that class, queen and black. I'm going to go piece 2 equals piece. And we're going to go for pawn. And we're going to go for white. So I've allocated the different piece. What I could even do is I can name that as QB and PW or however you want. But in this case, we don't necessarily need to do that. All right, now watch what happens here. You will get this error at the bottom, all right, which says the object when I print it, so it kind of gives you more of a location in the memory of the object, but it doesn't actually display the information that I want. What I need to do is I need to actually refer to the object and the information that I want to print. So realistically speaking, I'm going to hashtag that out. I still needed to initialize the class and create the object. So that's what I've done here. So I've initialized the class and created the object. So I've done that for both. So I've now got a piece 1 object and a piece 2 object. Now, if I want to print out the information inside piece 1, all I need to do is do piece 1 dot, and then I can utilize what I'm after. So piece 1 dot piece type. All right. Make sure I'm spelling that right. In fact, when you go dot, you can see everything down here. All right, all the different methods, if there are methods there. So I'm going to go piece 1 dot piece underscore type, piece 1 dot owner, and piece 1 dot in underscore play. So I've utilized each of these attributes from my class. Let's see if that works now. I'm going to run that. Queen, black, true, because we passed in a queen. The owner was the black player, so you've got the black and white side of the board, and by default, it was true. Now, underneath that, we're going to do the same, but I'm going to use piece 2 this time. Piece 2 dot piece underscore type, piece 2 dot owner, piece 2 dot in play. Now, if I run that, I've now got pawn, white, true. Now, the next video is going to demonstrate encapsulation. So we've got our basics of our game here, all right? But now I'm going to build on this and I'm going to use encapsulation. And that's the idea that when you change items within your object, all right, they should be changed using their method. all right? So that the methods know exactly what we're doing, all right? So next thing we're going to do is I'm going to hashtag these out because I don't necessarily need to print them. And I'm going to hashtag these out. So this video is all about setting up your object and then using encapsulation. Now, within our class, we are going to create, so I'm going to say def get piece type, and I'm going to return self.piece underscore type. Make sure that's in that. I'm now going to create another method. All right, so we're going to get owner. Okay, and def set in play self value. Self dot in play equals the value. So what I've got here is I've got my class and we're using getters and setters, all right? So the whole process of this is that in this chest example, all right, you'll notice here that I will need to get the information from the piece, all right? I need to get the owner. I need to get whether it is in play or not. But the point of using this is that we are using these getters and setters to mutate the variables, all right, rather than changing the whole class. So what we can do now is where I have our information from before. So again, I still need my piece, all right? And I've still got in there the information that I needed. But what I can do this time is I can set information. So I can change that by using a setter, all right? So the whole point of this is that with encapsulation, the idea is that the attributes should only be changed by using a method, all right? And those methods are defined to show exactly what the object's doing. So this method is to just get the information, get the information, get the information. This method is to change the information. And the only way we can do this is by using assessor methods. These are also called mutator methods, all right, to obtain this information, all right? So what I'm going to do here is if I run this, nothing's happening, all right? But again, if I remove that hashtag, I can still initialize all of that information, all right? But notice this time, I'm going to get rid of this, all right? And I'm going to change it slightly so that you see below. This time, instead of the specific variables, all right, we are going to go to piece1.get piece underscore type. So I'm using the method this time. We'll do it again. Piece1.get underscore owner. Piece1.get in play. Now, if I run that, green, black, true, it does give you the exact thing, but the idea is that we have methods to make the changes specifically. And it also is good practice because you can focus on those areas when you are working within your class. So I'm going to go here again, piece2.get underscore piece underscore type, piece2.get owner piece2 dot get in play. So if I run that, that will say pawn white true. But the difference this time is what I can do is I can go piece1 dot set in play false. All right. I'm going to output that again so you can see what happens. So I'm going to remove this here, hashtag this out. And run that. So you know by default it is set at true. If I run this now, I've got piece1 dot get owner. I've set it as false. I'm going to now print out what it will look like after, and you will see queen black is now set to false. So you may think, well, what is the point of that? Well, the point of that is usually you pass in the values when you declare it, because can you see that I've done that here? But when you're using the class, there may be points within it where you want to change it. So I'm currently using this class. I need to now change the value that was originally there. And that's how I can do this. I can do piece1, I can use a setter to change it while I'm using it, rather than only being able to change it at the beginning when it's initialized. So by having the getters and setters, I can manipulate the information and change it within the class at that time. All right. So hopefully that gives you a good example of initializing a class and using encapsulation to get and set the information.